This is the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg Road Race, hosted by the city of Joburg, a world-class African city. For the third year, the majestic Calabash Soccer City was the host venue for the country's richest one-day cycle race, the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg. The list of former champions over the previous 26 years reads like a who's who of South African cycling. And this year's edition has once again attracted the best riders in the land, and a few more from further afield, all ready to race.
Well, I mean, it's one of the bigger races that we have on our calendar, and it's really built up a reputation for itself. It's also probably one of the more difficult races on our calendar to win.
The cool early morning air was an antidote to the pre-race tension crackling through the big batch of elites and pros as they were motivated and inspired by the Virgin Active dance team.
4, 3, 2, 1, and action on its way, and
And then they were rolling into the bright morning sunshine. Among them, the defending champion Reinhard Jans van Rensburg, also known as the Beast.
Yeah, I think this is the premier cycling one-day race in South Africa for any aspiring cyclist to try and win. It's the biggest prize money there is. Yeah, that really motivates people to bring their best here. And it's also it's more than just the race, it's also about every single participant that's competing here. And the biggest city in South Africa, we're closing down for a day for cycling.
The early kilometres took them on a loop through Soweto. There was plenty of action. Tufo BMC, Team Honeycomb and Aluwani all very active.
This race is it's a special race because it's just a lot more climbing than any other race we have in South Africa. And the climbs come towards the end, where normally we have the racing where there's one climb in the middle of the race or one climb in the beginning of the race, and then that's it, and then it's a sprint to the finish. So here we get to race through Joburg, which is something that we don't get to do on your average Sunday. So yeah, I mean, it's a race that's very unpredictable. It's a race that I'm looking forward to because I think every year there's almost a new winner. And I've come second twice and I've won it the 3 years before that, or 2 years before that. So yeah, I've got something to gain out of going one position better.
We get the streets for the whole day. Some roads you can never ride. You can't ride your bicycle on the highway, so it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. It brings everyone together, whether you're racing like we do, whether you're doing it for a charity, whether you're doing it for fun, whether you're doing it with friends. I think the iconicness comes with how long it's been standing and how many people have done it for different causes.
Being one of SA's premier races, we definitely have everybody showing up on the day. Competition will be tough. I always said everybody brings an extra 5 or 10% for 947. So it'll be fierce, it'll be tough, and everybody will leave everything out there.
Obviously 947 I would say is one of the biggest races in the country, so on the calendar you really always have it penciled in as a goal and a target. It's always a bit tricky to keep your motivation this late in the season, but I mean, with a huge prize purse like it is, it's one thing, and then also it's just one way to go into a nice off season. So if you hit out hard, you give it everything you got, you can really just feel like you deserve a bit of time off. And yeah, it's just going to be a great day come Sunday.
It's some top competitors out there, but the problem with being a favourite is we look at each other, we mark each other out, and then there's always a non-favourite that ends up in the road in a breakaway and it's race over. So I've seen that repeatedly. The more favourites there are, the bigger the chances of a breakaway with a non-favourite actually staying away.
But I gotta say, Kalami's got to be the best. You got once every year you get a ride in there with the best roads you're probably ever gonna get. It doesn't get smoother than that.
There's not a lot of events in this country that you get that prize money for a win or something like that. I think everyone is motivated to get that prize money, and yeah, for me personally as well, I think if you win this event, it makes a big difference.
After Kyalami, the route is known for going up and up and up, and it's really super difficult after Kyalami. It's almost like you climb and then you go down a little bit and then you have to start climbing again, so you don't get much rest in between, which makes it really tough. I know that I have to respect those climbs because they are really short and sharp, but at the end of the day, if you can make it over those with the front group, then you're good for the finish.
Good morning and welcome to the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg Twitter ride, the actual new coffee ride that we're actually introducing into the 2023 calendar. It's something that we are introducing and it's very new to us, but we're optimistic to make this really exciting. The route is going to be 30 kilometers into the beautiful Soweto, where the historical Vilakadi Street is. We're going to stop there at Nelson Mandela's house, and then we're going to go onto the cycling lanes that is specially built for the cyclists in Soweto. We're actually going to do a route back to we're actually going to get onto the race route for tomorrow, and then we finish up in the beautiful finish line right behind us.
A great relaxing way to enjoy the sights and sounds without the stress of racing. The event wouldn't have been possible without great cooperation from the city of Joburg.
Well, for us it's an important event, as you know, that part of what we want to continue to do is to position Johannesburg as an important city that provides for all sectors of society to present their own skills, talent, and enjoy being citizens of the city. And secondly, we thought it was important to map out the cycling lanes that we had invested in Soweto. We thought it was an important thing to try and mobilize young people in Soweto to be part of cycling and to take cycling as an important sport. And over and above, it's also a mode of transport that would want to encourage people to move to cycling.
Nico here from Matimela Ladies Clinics. We just had a coffee ride, beautiful, riding in the beautiful streets of Soweto, rubbing shoulders with the elites. Wow, what a beautiful experience.
We had a young coffee ride. I'm from Soweto personally, so the fact that Soweto was considered as the pre-ride, you know, it is just amazing. The pace, the weather was perfect, the environment is always perfect, being amongst other cyclists, professional teams, amateurs, families, you know, it was just beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's quite an experience. It's not something we get to do often because obviously Soweto is quite a busy area. But yeah, it's amazing to see Vilakazi Street. Like, we don't get to see it often, so for us, we embrace it as well. And to have so many people here as well enjoying the moment with us, it's really special.
Back to the start at Soccer City on race day, and a vibrant group of elite and pro women were preparing for their race. Defending champion Namibian Vera Losa was sadly not on the start line due to an injury, but there were plenty of other candidates keen to take the 200,000 Rand first prize. The three former winners in the field, Charisse Willate, Jo van der Winkel and Carlo Obholzer, were all in the same team. There were numerous other potential winners, all highly motivated to take the win in the biggest race of the year.
Well, it's a benchmark for all of us. I think if you're a competitive rider showing up every year, it's where you come to be seen to make a difference, to show how you've improved from the year before, and it's how you test yourself against the best in South Africa. There aren't many events where everyone comes from all over to congregate at such an event, and there's just a vibe that's unmatched. I think that across all the road races that I've done, there's nothing more exhilarating than a 947, and nothing that causes such anxiety in the weeks before and such motivation to prepare so hard.
A former national champion, Hayley Preen, was one of the solo raiders up from the Cape, looking to make a big impact.
It's very exciting having a strong women's field. I mean, people ask who's the one to watch, but I think there are many ladies, and that just makes it exciting and makes it hard. The harder the better. Which makes me look forward to it. We're missing like a couple of good riders this year, but still I think the field is so strong that it doesn't really make too much of a difference.
The pre-race vibe was amplified at the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg Expo, where for the 3 days ahead of the race, riders registered and collected their race numbers. Once that was done, they could take a slow walk through one of the biggest expos of its kind in South Africa. From kit and clothing to gadgets, bikes and gizmos. They could even test their power output and get expert advice and stock up for race day on the best nutritional products on the market from Biogen. The team at Garmin guided riders through the ins and outs of what device suited their needs best. It was a veritable feast for sore cycling eyes, and a great way to get into the vibe for the race itself.
It's been an absolute privilege partnering with Faces as well as the team from Ride Joburg. We were blessed enough to be invited to set up all the water points, so we were the logistics partner to take out 17 vehicles. We took everything from tables, chairs, gazebos, umbrellas, banners. It's been a 3-day affair, dropping everything off, and it's been an absolute blessing to be able to see all the gears that we create. We sent a gig rig to Kyalami, so hopefully everybody saw our water point there. But we had music, we had ladies, we had gentlemen dancing. It's been an absolute blast.
The most important thing for us is our members, GEMS members. Fitness and health outcomes, that's key for us. And if we can cycle, definitely it is sort of like preventative medicine. And we are proud. We're just trying to encourage our members to be part of this. That's our core business, our membership. And we want to grow members and just to make sure that they can see that GEMS is one of the #1 medical scheme in the country.
Back with the men's elite racing, and this is Ryan Gibbons' view of the race.
I think the misconception about Joburg is that it's flat, it's always up and down, whether the climb only be 200 meters, 300 meters, it's very seldom just flat. I think, the decisive final climb is always Jan Smuts, so starting at Zoo Lake, going all the way up to Parktown North. That's where the race is generally, won or lost.
Planning to be in the front going into the last few corners before Homestead Road. Hopefully the group whittles down to a group of 10, 15. And then on the climbs approaching Nelson Mandela Bridge, I'm really going to see how I'm feeling and make a decision on what I do there. But I think a rider like myself, I'm not a fast finisher. I'm not going to win out of a bunch sprint. I need to really go out long.
I know a lot of the sprinters just sit in and try and survive up the climbs like Jan Smit, Zoo Lake, all those ones. And then hope that it comes back to a bunch sprint at the end. But I think the new finish as well is a lot nicer, suits guys more like me, where it's not sort of a fast downhill sprint, where it's a bit more technical, where we come actually inside of the parking lot and stuff. I would say the finish also suits me, guys like me, a lot more.
Once you get through Kyalami, then you get all the big rollers, and finally you're coming up Jan Smuts Drive up to Zoo Lake. So that's where the race really explodes. So it kind of like builds up from an easy race to a full gas attack towards the end.
Look, it's never easy, especially like I said, 947 is one of the biggest races. You always stress a little bit more. Because it's a prestige race and everyone wants to win it. I mean, it's the Tour de France of South Africa cycling, if I can put it that way. So I think everyone comes here to win it. So all the big names, even mountain bikers jump on their road bikes and everyone gets their bikes ready. So it's definitely one of the biggest, and I think everyone comes and they're all strong for this race. They're always ready for this.
It came down to a three-way battle. Climber Kent Main, 21-year-old mountain biker Luke Moyer from the Cape, and strong finishing former winner Mark Pritson.
I never count anyone out. If you are on a bicycle and you have a helmet on in the last 30 Ks in the race, you're a contender. You've got a chance of winning this race. So it doesn't matter who you are, I will have a look at you, make sure that you don't get away, or I won't underestimate your capabilities.
As they charged down Nasrec Road in the shadow of the stadium, it was a game of cat and mouse. The new finish, more technical than before, claimed an unfortunate victim when Main slid out on the left-hander. Moyer did brilliantly to avoid him, but lost momentum, and it was Mark Pritson of Team Honeycomb who powered up to the finish line to claim a second Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg victory.
It means a lot, definitely. The last 2 years I came second. The year before that I won. So the finish didn't suit me the last 2 years. Now they changed the finish. So yeah, now I'm happy. Finally a finish that I can do well in a gate.
The finish was super fast. Unfortunately for Kent, he went down. I managed just to save it a bit, nearly went into the barriers. But I'm stoked, yeah. End of the season race, it's nice to end it like this.
Yeah, third place for me today. I'm a little bit disappointed with that because last year I won, so I had high expectations to repeat that win. Unfortunately, it was 3 stronger riders in front that stayed away. Kent crashed in the last corners, so I overtook him for third place. So I had a good sprint in the end, but unfortunately the other guys were still in front.
A dramatic finish to the race and a big payday for the top 3. It was certainly time to celebrate with a bubbly shower. Two hours and 9 minutes was Pritzen's winning time. What a great ride by young Luke Moyer, a gifted mountain biker, but he may have a future on the road based on this performance. 19-year-old Eritrean Yol Habteb was just ahead of former winner Travis Stedman. And another international rider, Felix Steli of Switzerland, was just behind a former winner in Willi Smit. The women had started 45 minutes after the men and were on the climb towards Kyalami racetrack, roughly halfway through their race. A few of the pre-race favourites are starting to show on the front, among them World Marathon mountain bike silver medalist Candice Lill.
In terms of the way the women race, I don't think that anybody would try to make something go there. So in my mind, I think it's going to be relatively easy. And then as soon as we get to Kyalami and where the real hills start, I know that things will definitely be spicing up.
Really difficult to plan a race. You can never plan a race to 101%. You have to plan kind of to like 50% because it always changes. I mean, you have one girl feeling super strong and she can attack ages before Zule.
A move that mountain biker Danielle Stradum tried on the climb away from Kyalami. But the Mbuko Type Dev giant rider was caught a short while later.
It's going to be a tough race. I think Jan Smuts will be the decider. 2 years ago, my first time I did it, I was not in form. I had broken arm, pretty much racing with a broken arm. Last year I was up there, I just messed up the sprint, so hopefully this year I'm up there and I can time the sprint a bit better and get it right. Obviously everyone will be going for that, but yeah, it will be a hard race.
It's a strange time of year, so you never quite know who's on form. And then you hit Kyalami and you know, okay, now it's game on. And normally that Kyalami hill is the first major effort of the day. And from there, if you can get through that climb, it's kind of short, but it's really hard, then it's onwards to Homestead, and that's where the big break happens.
Yeah, so with Ride Joburg having such a massive prize pool, I think it's by far the biggest in the country for a one-day race, and yeah, I think it just makes the racing that much more exciting, I think, for everyone watching, but I think for us, also a bit nervous. I think obviously when there's so much on the line, everybody acts or can race more aggressively and take more chances. So I think there's no ways it's going to be a boring race in terms of, mostly because of the prize money actually.
Carla Obolso was able to savour the moment as she soloed home for her 4th win at the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg.
I think today we raced perfectly as a team. We started out with one of our youngsters setting us up nicely, keeping the pace nice and high for the first half of the race. And then the serious racing started as we entered the neighbourhood area. A couple of moves and myself, Sharice and Joe really raced well off of each other. Eventually we managed to get away into a breakaway of 3 and then I rode away by myself on Jan Smuts. I didn't want to risk it on a sprint with this finish, so very happy to be able to pay the teammates back for a good effort.
A surprise second place 2 years ago was repeated by the powerful Maddie LaRue as she outkicked Van der Winkel in the dash to the line.
I'm quite happy with today. I didn't expect it. I've been a bit in a rough patch regarding training and power numbers and stuff, so this for me is a big confidence booster going forward.
Coming from KZN, I was a little bit on the back foot, racing at altitude. And it was always going to be a bit tough for our team. We all full-time working moms, so we showed some of those full-time pros a thing or two today, but I think for us it was to work together well as a team. I think we had 4 strong riders and we worked really well together, and it paid off in the end.
A top-class team effort by the Sandton City squad. 2 hours, 41 minutes and 43 seconds was Carlo Obol's winning time. Leroux and Van der Winkel were 42 seconds behind her. Second last year, Tiffany Keep took 4th ahead of the third mum in the top 5, Cherise Willate. Another top 10 finish for Hayley Perrine. Tennille Otto showing her European experience is starting to pay dividends with a top 10 as well.
What it do, we talking to you. The name is Zola Shati, and of course this is the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg 2023. And of course we welcome back all of those that have been cycling before, and we say welcome to the new riders. They're going to keep it clean and safe, uphill and downhill, from Soweto to the CBD, to the highways, to the byways, to Woodmead and back to here at FNB Stadium. It is going down. The weather is beautiful, and Joburg is taking over the cyclist. No taxis, no buses, no cars. Let us ride Joburg 23.
What makes it work is just the city coming together. It's one day where we close down the road so everybody can have a safe and fun ride. You know, exercise, do it at your own pace, or do it to beat a PB, or just to prove something to yourself. It's just a really great thing where the whole community can come together and really just exercise and have an excellent time on the road.
Cyclists have taken over the streets of Johannesburg here at the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg. We're at border point number 4, halfway into this 97-kilometer race. The vibe is absolutely electric. I hope you are here today.
Well, one of the big things is, if you haven't ridden this yet, it is an incredible way to see the city. This is effectively the Comrades Marathon of Johannesburg. You will never get to ride up Jan Smuts Avenue, past Zoo Lake, over the Mandela Bridge, through Braamfontein and all the other beautiful areas which people would have already traversed if you don't do this. So here's a challenge. Come on, enter. I dare you.
Speak about the M1, we shut it down. You speak about Braam, we shut it down. You speak about Jan Smart, we shut it down. You speak about Kailami, we shut it down. Even Soweto, we shut it down. How was that experience for you? And have you ever seen anything like this?
I think the most fantastic one was the Jan Smuts hill to climb. I think you're almost trying to finish, get to that amazing location, and I think it just takes your breath away. So I think it's a beautiful venue, a beautiful space, the sun is out. What an amazing experience. I loved it.
The excitement of the people, the supporters on the side of the road and just pushing us, and I mean offering us food and drink as well. So I mean that is what this day is all about. So that was amazing.
you are missing out on an experience of a lifetime. Not just the ride and the fitness of it, but the support of the entire Joburg, the community on the roads, the people sitting outside their houses, giving you a beer on the road. Just amazing, amazing camaraderie.
You know what, it's just been fantastic, and I think if you just look around here and see how much fun everyone's having, it's about creating communities, creating an environment for everyone to train together, but it's a fantastic day out. I mean, really, really happy and honoured and privileged to be a part of this fantastic event.
And just like that, it's been real. It's been a long, beautiful, sunny day in Johannesburg. It is what it is, and it is the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg 2023. It's done, it's dusted. They came, they rode from Soweto to the other side and back to the south. It was great. Thank you so much, Virgin Active. Thank you so much, 947. Thank you, FNB Stadium. Let's do it again in 2024. I am Zola Shati, and this has been the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg 2023.
That was the Virgin Active 947 Ride Joburg Road Race, hosted by the City of Joburg, a world-class African city.